Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast Behind the Bell Project Management Stories and Strategies. I am your host, and joining me as always is our project saver Aman.
Hi Poojal. Hi everyone. Great to be back.
So Aman, in the last episode we have discussed about tools, methodologies like Jira tool, waterfall methodology, agile methodology. But wait, haven't you guys seen our episode 2 yet? Here's the link floating on the screen. Click on the link, go to our episode 2 and definitely watch it, guys. And do come back for this session as well.
Definitely go and watch. It will be a very insightful video.
Now, as we have already laid the foundation, so in the today episode, we are going to discuss what really makes a project successful. Let's start with the basics. So, what are the core ingredients that really makes a project successful?
So in my experience, 3 steps need to be performed to make a successful project. First one is planning so that it paves a way for the project. Then there need to be alignment so that everyone is on the same page and a clear communication with your team and with your client so that there are no sudden surprises.
That makes sense. But planning can sometimes feel like, I can say, a bit idealistic. So, what does this term solid planning actually means like in real world project?
I totally agree. Solid planning doesn't mean that you're making a 40 pages document and nobody reads about it. It is more like that you have a clear objective, timeline that is need to be set beforehand, and scope of work and the risk that you might encounter in the future. And you must need to know that your team need to be on the same page. It is more like that you are planning a trip and you have a destination that you want to reach. There may be different routes. You can take either of that, but it will reach your destination.
All right, we have got the map, we are going to some destination, but what about people on the trip? Aman, if I'm not wrong, you mentioned somewhat like alignment. That sounded to me like one of your buzzwords. So, can you please break it down?
Definitely, I can break it down. That is align plus meant. I'm just joking.
Thank God.
Okay. So alignment means that you need to have your whole team, that is including your developer, designer, QA, project manager, stakeholders to be on the same page so that they know what and why we are building this project. So it shouldn't be like one team is thinking that you are building a jet and another one is thinking we are building a bicycle. So that's a chaos to be in the making, I can say that.
So, plan done, people aligned, but still we know that the things can go sideways. So, Aman, how do you keep everyone on the same page when things get messy? How you tell them, see, we are not building a bicycle, we are not building a jet, but actually we are building a car. So, how you keep the things really up with the team?
That's a really fun question, I would say. Okay. So it is more about the communication that you have with your client. So it needs to be clear so that if there is any loopholes or there are some issues that are hindering your project to be in a good position. So I think you need to have a very clear communication from the start to till the end with your client and with your team as well. I will say that. I think it will be great to say that surprises are very good for the birthdays, but not for the project.
Love that. Honestly, I'm a way more curious now. So, can you please tell me and definitely our audience what are the key phases a project actually goes through from the start to the finish?
Yes, there is a process that need to be followed in every project. First one is initiation. Like what is the scope of the project, whom we are building for, what we are building. And then there is a planning. We need to divide our resources and manage the risk beforehand. Then there is execution, like how the development work is going on. And then there is monitoring, tracking all the things that are being done by the devs. And if there are any issues or any fixes that need to be done. And then there is a closure when you go live and hand over the project to the client with all the documentations. So it is more like ticking all the check boxes.
Awesome breakdown. We all know our listeners love real stories. I want you to share a real life story where you managed to check all the check boxes, I mean, all the phases of a project. So it might be really insightful for our audience.
Absolutely. We once worked with a fintech company who wanted to launch an app on a very tight deadline before the investor pitch. So we started the project with the execution planning, all the process that I mentioned with you. And we also included all the stakeholders, legal team and marketing team that we often ignore. But in the midday day sprint, I will say after 2-3 sprints, there was an API delay. So what we did, we refocus on that and we changed the priorities. And the end result was that the app went live and it was a very successful investor pitch. And after that, the client came back to us with 2 more projects.
Wow, that sounds like it could have gone down really fast, but it didn't, thanks to our good project management practices. Aman, can you please recall a time where you, as a project manager, really saved the project timeline recently?
Sure, there is a time when our critical dev has to leave midway due to some emergency. So we look at our risk plan and we get the backup dev on the project and we reorganize the whole sprint so that he can have a soft landing. And I kept the open communication with the client so that he know what is going on. And at the end, we deliver the project on time and client actually congratulate us like how we handled this curveball and it didn't affect the timeline and it was a smooth sailing, I will say.
That's a real testament to the power of having good project management and services. So, guys, before wrapping up, let's know what is the big takeaway for anyone managing or starting a big project.
I will say plan smartly, align early, and have a clear communication. These are the 3 must have to have a successful project delivery.
We have had some great insights so far. Now it's time to switch the gears. We will play a little game which we would like to call Build It or Break It with Aman. Ready, Aman?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I will throw you some scenarios, sort of rapid fire or some choices at you, and you need to tell me whether these choices will build your project or break your project. And you will get max 5 seconds to answer these. Okay?
Born ready.
Okay, so our first option is developer commits directly to main branch.
Break it.
Next one is daily stand-ups running for 45 minutes.
Break it. Just keep it short.
Clear communication with the team.
Build it.
Friday 6 p.m. feature demo request.
Break it. We all need to enjoy our weekend.
Absolutely, guys. Launching without QA sign-off.
Break it. Without QA approval, don't go live.
You will get a rain of bugs, guys. Okay, team pizza parties after sprint reviews.
Build it. 100% build it.
Yes, we need to celebrate our wins as well.
Definitely.
Okay, client changes their mind after UAT is done.
Break it. We need to have a clear scope.
Okay, last but not the least, having a backup of your backup.
Build it. Always good to have a backup.
Nice. So thank you, Aman, again for this, I can say, a more insightful session with our audience, listeners. So if you get this build it or break it moment in your life or in any of your project, drop a comment out there. We will definitely give your answer to your queries in our next episode. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Aman, for this wonderful session. Listeners, if you found this episode really helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it within your network. Got any questions or want us to cover something really specific, you can comment down anytime or you can directly reach us. Until next time, keep building smarter.
See you in next episode.